Video. Today we'll be going over some more gameplay. I haven't really been playing in a while. We got Angelo though. We had first pick and they didn't ban Angelo. I suggested the Gene to play Angelo. And then I went Gene and he suggested the switch. So I managed to get the Angelo. He's just so broken on this map, like the water is so important. Lets you take a third lane, and this Carl actually doesn't go for me. And I managed to walk up and get some nice tap on him. Unfortunately, Byron is healing him, and Carl just doesn't respect me. He doesn't shoot me, he keeps trying to scan the bushes, and he does not respect the damage that I can put out, and I end up taking him down for the free 1 kill. And guys, if you die first on knockout when you don't need to, it kind of throws the entire round and sometimes the game. I do go down there, a bit of a troll, but it doesn't really matter because it's a 3v1. And all you need is a +1 numbers advantage. And Pearl gets the kill and things work out pretty nice. I give the emote saying that was kind of a troll. I was trying to charge my super, get a nice shot onto the Gus, and also a nice shot onto the Carl. I do get burned, but the gas does heal me, or actually the poison, and so does the Gene. I go up and land a nice 4k on the Carl too, juke some Byron. I didn't actually need a Pierce there, I just felt like it, and we do end up getting the kill onto the Carl as well. And since this is the last round, just pop my hypercharge and look for the kill, but Pearl managed to snag it, and we get the first game. Into the second game, the first game really shows how important draft is. Like, you just really can't troll these games with the draft. Leaving Angelo and Gene open for us, that's just such a big throw. We get some nice taps off, Pierce onto the Gus, Gene gets a nice value gadget as well. Pearl gets a fire off, and I also land a tap onto the Gus and Byron. But Byron does heal the Gus. We go low. Gus can actually one-shot us with his big shot. So we do back off. We do get some more damage off on him though, and we do land another Pierce. And I managed to get the kill on him with the poison value. Things are looking good. Byron is pretty sad again. Guys, if you like just die unnecessarily first, it's game over. I land another tap onto the Carl to charge my super. He misses the fire. Again, guys, you just cannot die first unnecessarily. Like, if you go for a trade or a play, that's fine. But if you just get tapped out, like, you just throw it around, and sometimes the game. And now we're into match point. Dodging the Carl shots, just barely. Wow, what a nice grab from the Gene. And we pop the hypercharge, you know, get the kill onto the Gus with the poison, and get the kill onto the Carl here, it seems. Yeah, and he's poisoned down. Poison does kill him. And we end up with pretty nice stats. We absolutely dominated, dealt tons of damage, and let's move on to the next one. We're in the next game. We're Carl last pick. A bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Not sure how the draft went. One thing you can abuse as sharpshooter into Carl that I did last game is Angelo into the enemy Carl. On the return shot, it's very easy to just walk up and like 3-tap him because he doesn't have any ammo and there's a long period of time until the shot returns. One thing to note is that even with Bell shield gear, if you land a 2-tap with Carl with the fire, like Bell's just dead. So there, I didn't need to go for that extra hit, but it does help charge my super. All you need is just a full shot onto the Bell with the fire, and you do get the kill. Max is over here, and it seems like it's giving my Brock and my Piper some issues. Max is good into them. We do try getting the fire off, but we super out to just stay alive, and we try getting this pinch off with the Max. She gadgets to avoid my one-shot, which leads to her going down. Oh yes, I remember. I believe it was Brock, Piper, Gray, Bell, and I went last pick Carl because I was scared of a Max into our comp. And the fire actually, you know, the one thing that's really good about it is it will get the kill when you're dead as Carl. And that means you actually don't have the stars, and Gray completely fails his TP, but for some reason I go in and die to him. Not the best. A Piper also goes down. But one thing you kind of can do with Carl is set them on fire as you die, and if it kills them, you spawn with just 2 stars instead of 3 stars, giving you a massive advantage. Piper jumps out, you know, and this Max starts running us down, but we fire to get some room. But it looks like my team died while that was going on. I hypercharge, doesn't really do much though, because I don't have super. But I did it to prevent from going down, and it looks like it's game over. We're in the second game. Hopefully, our team doesn't go down like that all the time. They're Xing on the ground. You know they made the mistake. It is what it is. We are getting tapped by this Bell a bit. We were juking pretty well last game, but again, we want to hold our shots because with just one shot, we can take down this Bell. And we know she gets greedy for it, and we land a shot and we go down. And this Bell dies before we spawn in, so again, I have 2 stars here. For some reason, Piper still keeps Xing the ground. Come on, let's just play the game. I woke up behind this wall so that Piper or the Bell, or not the Piper, the Bell can't outrange me here. And I go for a shot and a burn onto the Gray. Do manage to get it. Again here, don't need to shoot and be too aggro. Even if I get damage off, I won't get the kill. I get some nice value off on them with one shot, which allows us to go in, and I also get the fire and kill onto the Bell, but Brock actually takes it. Not a good move by him unless he really needed his hyper. He does go down. The reason why it wasn't a good move is because I actually won't have the 3 stars after getting the kill. Max goes in and dies with the Gray TP. It is how it is, happens a lot. I get slowed, this isn't looking too good. I'm likely going down, so I set the ground on fire. And Piper takes the kill for the win. When the Gray TP lights up, you can set the ground on fire to prevent them from going in, because if they do go in, they'll get set on fire. Alright guys, we're in the third game. Hopefully, things clutch up a bit more. Better playing second game, but it is what it is. They go for a lane swap and we get a nice tip onto the Max. One thing with Carl is we actually do outrange the Max, but we do get some taps. We do need to heal up here because Max can just gadget up and run us down because we have low damage, and our teammates can't really help us either because it seems like they're busy being killed by the Gray. We go up to heal up. Max does go for a gadget out, but we do get the kill. Here we won't actually kill the Bell because we only got 1 tap onto her, and so she does stay alive. We look to heal a bit. We back off, try to bait the Max into shooting more to prevent healing, but we do get hit and we do go for a nice tap. We go for some AoE because they do have a Gray TP and we're all low, so we just want to deny them while we heal up. But the Gray has hypercharged somehow. This game has been going on for not that long, like a minute and a half, and Gray has hypercharge, not even a TP. Not sure what's been going on the right side. Max is low, but it seems like Piper pops hyper to try and get the kill. Whiffs all her shots, misses all of them, wastes her hyper. It is what it is. We go for a gadget, miss it. We're down by 4 stars, so we do need a kill onto the Gray to get the game. And we walk up, get some nice jukes onto the Bell. Bell is missing all her shots. And we just need a fire, and we do land the fire onto the Gray, and we walk back. We know that'll kill him, so we know we're in the lead. We don't really need to be aggressive, but I do go for that and get away. But the Piper, I think, might have been jebaited by me somewhat going in with the hypercharge, even though I was going to back off. We were winning, but Piper goes in and throws it. And I stay up to try and get that last kill, but Piper, although gets the stars, we're already kind of trapped against the wall. And we do lose the game. I remember after this game, Piper got like instantly fire Max kudos. But maybe I jebaited her into going in with that hypercharge. Might not have been the best play at the end when we were winning. Even though I knew I would get out with even if they had like a Gray hook. But again, that's gonna be the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.